to a young man who exemplifies academic excellence. He has carried a 4.0 GPA, that's grade point average, over the course of his studies at South Florida State College. And he graduates this evening with an Associate in Arts degree with honors. Shortly, he heads to Gainesville to continue his studies in physics. He recently served as president of the Tau Epsilon chapter of Phi Beta Kappa. He was lauded as the 2014 Outstanding Student of the Year for honors, general physics with calculus 1 and 2, and as a member of the Phi Beta Kappa All Florida academic team. Without further ado, please welcome tonight's student commencement speaker, Anthony Evans.
Thank you. I'm not a fan of cliche pep talks, so I'm not going to waste your time with one this afternoon. One thing that I do want to share with you, though, is a personal experience that will hopefully give all of you a much deeper appreciation of the degrees earned here today. Being a graduate with over a decade of experience in a career prior to pursuing a college education, I am privileged with a unique experience that has shown me the true value of a college education. To give you a bit of a background as to my personal experience, fresh out of high school, I began a career as a personal trainer. Shortly after, I began a personal pursuit of studying business management through textbooks and online resources. In the years to come, I was able to apply more and more of the business management skills I was learning, and I was eventually offered the opportunity to manage the personal training department of a health club. Within the first few months, I put systems in place that skyrocketed monthly profits by over 70% and improved member retention, customer satisfaction, and employee satisfaction. In fact, I was so successful that within 6 months, I was promoted to managing the personal training departments of the entire association. Now, I'm not filling you in on all this to toot my own horn. On the contrary, I was working my way up quickly through a field that I never intended on sticking with long term. I was miserable doing it, and I was unfulfilled. Nonetheless, I felt it was a great way to build my resume and eventually transition into management within another field down the road. After 2.5 years of working that management position, I relocated. This is when I hit a brick wall in my professional pursuits. As I applied to management positions within other fields, I rarely ever heard back from any employers. From the half dozen or so that I did hear back from, the conversations all eventually led to the same thing, them asking me where I received my college degree from. Upon discovering that I was self-taught without a degree, I was always told the same thing. Either the owners of the company or the human resources department required someone with a college degree for the job. The ironic thing is that most didn't even care if the degree was in business management. They just required a 4-year degree. Despite having an excellent work history, proven success, and impeccable references, I was rejected time and time again, month after month, all because I didn't have a degree. Although it was a very disheartening experience initially, it was also the primary catalyst that spurred me on to pursue a degree. It also helped me to realize how much college truly had to offer, as I'm sure my fellow classmates have come to realize as well. The networking opportunities, the connections to like-minded individuals, the laboratory and other resources that college has that most individuals simply can't afford, and the list goes on. Without the opportunities that college provides you, many of you here today may very well ended up in a position similar to mine at some point in your lives. I'm hoping my personal experience helps all of you to realize just how valuable a degree truly is. To my fellow classmates, be both proud of and thankful for your degree. It is going to open so many doors of opportunity for you that would have been closed without it. There are many professional obstacles that individuals face on a daily basis that luckily you will never have to face because of the time that you have dedicated to higher education. For those of you who are continuing to pursue higher degrees than you've already earned here today, I hope that if you ever feel discouraged or apathetic about your educational pursuits, you'll keep in mind how much it has to offer you. If my personal experience didn't convince you of that, I'd suggest you take a look around on employment websites like careerbuilder.com or monster.com and see how many of those jobs require a degree. While you're at it, Take a look at the pay difference between the jobs that require a degree and the ones that don't as well. It doesn't take much looking around to quickly realize that we are well on our way to building a future with far more potential for ourselves. To the parents of my fellow graduates, I hope sharing the obstacles I encountered without a degree helps you to truly appreciate how much you have helped your child through supporting their education. To the teachers and other faculty of South Florida State College, I'm sure I speak for everyone here today when I say thank you. Your professions are ones that oftentimes go underappreciated, mainly because by the time most of us students really appreciate what you taught us, we are already out of school and in the workforce applying what you taught us. So I ask all of you to keep in mind that the appreciation you see from us while we are here is only a small fraction of the appreciation we will have for you in the long run. Now, we all know college is a place of self-discovery. However, that self-discovery won't stop in college. College is merely one of many catalysts that spur our own innate passion for self-improvement and development. Maybe in a decade from now, you'll decide to go back to school to do something completely different than what you're planning to do now, and that's okay. That's the great thing about this journey, is that there is no one single destination point. Self-discovery is going to be a lifelong process. I'd like to think I once again speak for most of my fellow classmates here today when I say one thing we have all learned during our time here in college is how much there is to learn about in the world. While I don't think we were all particularly huge fan of prerequisites that were outside of our major, they did show us a glimpse into fields of study that can expand our own awareness of the world around us. We just have to remember that no matter how much we study, no matter how much we learn, and no matter how much knowledge we acquire, there's always more to learn. One other thing to keep in mind during this process is those who helped us get here today. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that it wasn't until I had my daughter last year that I realized just how much time and effort goes into raising a child. It wasn't until then that I could look back on my childhood photos and be able to fully appreciate what my parents went through to raise me, as well as what those years meant to them. I can tell you, for those of you who haven't experienced this yet, there is an immeasurable love that you will simply never know about until you have a child. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying rush into it, because you can kiss any and all free time you have in your hands goodbye once you do have a child. However, while you are on this process of self-discovery, building new relationships, and exploring new interests, keep in mind those people that did all they could to make sure that you had the opportunity to do so. Keep in touch with mom and dad, siblings, and old friends you built relationships with prior to college. Remember, it is easy to take the time for granted when you have it, but it is impossible to get it back once you've lost it. There's a particular quote that I wanted to share with all of you today that I think is important to keep in mind throughout life. This quote doesn't come from a president, it doesn't come from a famous historical figure, and it doesn't come from any famous speech you'll find in any of your history books either. It originates from a movie called Ferris Bueller's Day Off. In that movie, Matthew Broderick, playing Ferris Bueller in the movie, said, "Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it." I think the older you get, the more you begin to appreciate that phrase. So on that note, take your education and future professions seriously, but don't forget to enjoy this time in your life as well. Having many friends who have already come and gone through college, I can tell you, this part of your journey is one that you are going to reminisce about for the rest of your life. Embrace it, enjoy it, build new relationships, maintain the old ones. Don't ever stop learning. Don't ever take for granted how much your education will better your future. And most importantly, remember to take a step back from all of it from time to time to appreciate how amazing your life truly is. It has been both a privilege and an honor to speak in front of all of you here today, and I wish everyone all the best in both their professional as well as personal pursuits. Thank you.